Welcome to part 5 of my contribution into the USACC 55 Ford truck group build. In part 4, this 58 Thunderbird gave its tail feathers to give some style to the rear of my truck. I mentioned the poor fit of the rear bumper, and before we go any further, let's do something about that. Well, 2 hours and 17 minutes later, I have managed to separate the bumper from that. As you can see, actually probably use that more than that, and it really only took maybe about 17 minutes. So let's start doing the other side. After cutting up the rear bumper, I flipped this thing over, and there was quite a bit of empty space between the body and the frame to deal with. I decided to rescue some of the 55 Ford bed parts from the burn pile and see if those could help with this dilemma. In order to make these fit, you guessed it, they needed to be modified a bit. The top piece is what you get in the box, and the bottom one is the one that I've done a little bit of deleting on. So after that, we have this piece, and if you look very carefully, you'll see some white dots. Those are important because those are pins. And this allows me to assemble this thing. And they are simply made out of 60 thousandths styrene rod. And I just happen to keep that size drill bit always in a pin vise, so it's ready to go whenever it's needed. And then the other side also has the pins. And then, as you can see, the chassis has pins. And then this is the gas tank out of the 58 Thunderbird, because we kind of just X-nayed that. It's almost made the burn pile, but it's, we'll see. So how this goes together is basically the pins cause it all to snap together. So when it comes time to paint this stuff, I don't really have to worry about if it's gonna fit, if I've got to glue spooging out or anything like that. Trying to look through the camera here. And it makes a very strong assembly doing it this way. That, I can pick it up like that. Speaking of that, that is a filler panel that goes back, behind the gas tank, duh. So another thing that I didn't really like was this gap in here. So again, what was left over from the gas tank, this was a piece of the 58 chassis for the transmission tunnel. And then this piece will end up going in there somehow, probably about right there. And that'll be a nice filler, and it's a separate piece that I could actually contrast paint this. So that's kind of where we stand with that. And we can show, once I get the rest of the truck put back together, we'll kind of show how that goes together. But again, simply a piece of evergreen and a piece of the chassis I wasn't going to use. Now it's time to make this really look like a turd and slather on my favorite filler, Proto Combine Spot Putty. The keen eyes will see that I've used some styrene sheet to fill a large area between the cab and the bed. A character line was also added to help this transition as well.
To make quick work of removing all the poop-colored filler, a coarse sanding stick comes to the rescue.
So here are the Tropical Shine sanding sticks that I use. It is a 100-180, and this really cuts that Bondo down. So on the hood, I've already roughed this out. And so you can see there'll be a little bit more that needs to be applied there that will reapply. And then this, probably going to have, I can kind of see some little low spots. But this filler sands beautifully. And I mean, especially with these Tropical Shines. So start with the 100 and just go to town. So as you can see, it gets all clogged up. That's what the towel's for. Blue jeans work really well to do this, but I don't think I'm wearing pants right now, hence the towel. I like using the sanding sticks because it's going to give you a flat edge and not put waves in everything. I will do a little bit of finishing with regular paper after this gets basically all removed, and that'll allow that if I sharpen these edges, or I'll go around on the corners and the edges to kind of smooth those out. So here's where we are after all the sanding and about to go priming. I still haven't really adjusted these things. I think I'm going to do those real quick. And yeah, it's kind of ugly, but it's should smooth out pretty good. I put some of this, we put it back in there. It did get notched down here. And then the holes for the interior still work, and those are kind of neat how that was. So that's the cab fenders. The bed, still, you can kind of see the amount of filler that's still in this. It's we got to get some primer on this and prime sand 37 more times, and that should be slick. I've added the rear bumper and molded it in. This was actually just part of the rear bumper, because it has, as you saw, the bumpers now fit how they should, and that should look pretty neat when it's all finished up. And let's see here, there's the other one. Put those over there, and then underneath you can kind of see how I've put all this evergreen strip in here, so you don't really see a lot of this ugliness, those sink marks. And then I've also added these blocks and pins, which when the interior is in is actually what locates the bed. And so we can talk about that more when it actually goes into assembly. So yeah, say bye to the white plastic and the wonderful Bondo, and start getting ready for some color. Maybe, I don't know.
After the first coat of primer, I really didn't like the hood. It has a peak, but it's a bit boring. So I decided to add more bird and graft in the hood scoop from the 58 Thunderbird. It even has a cool extension to make it even more scoopish.
So we've added yet another piece to the burn pile. One 58 Thunderbird hood. Kind of missing something. I don't know what to do with that. And now we have something a little bit cooler. Has a nice scoop. It's all blended in. Up underneath, you'll see I got some little brass doohickeys there that will be part of the hinge. And this is a little magnetic catch that will, when it closes, it goes as it should. You can see there's the piece that we removed. So this seems like this is a good stopping point. And as always, like, comment, subscribe. You guys know what to do because I have all kinds of model car stories to tell. Thanks for watching.